Hello everyone and welcome to another video after I don't know how long. I'm not gonna search it right now, but it's been quite a while. But anyway, today I'm here again because I want to talk about something that happened recently, which is in case you didn't know, Brazil banned Twitter from existing, and now anyone in Brazil cannot use Twitter, even with a VPN, and I'm gonna explain this in this video, the whole situation and what led to it happening. I want to separate this video by parts because I want to first start talking about the facts and then like whatever comes next, I don't know. So to give the facts, the history behind all this trouble with X or Twitter, it started back in 2020, kind of, because Brazil was going through political stuff, just like any other country. And also COVID-19 was bursting, as starting. So everyone was was afraid and all that. But a lot of people started spreading misinformation about it. And, social medias like Facebook, X, through WhatsApp and other messengers and things like that. And some people in our government do not like that, and they started taking an action against it, against fake news and misinformation like that. But it escalated in, I think it was like 2022, because the Twitter files thing happened after Elon Musk bought Twitter, and then he was like, "Oh, here's what your countries are talking. We're talking to Twitter about." Then it was revealed that the STF, which is like the Supreme Court, I believe, in Brazil, asked Twitter to ban some accounts that were spreading misinformation about COVID and stuff like that, and about political stuff, whatever. And so, some people took that as an abuse of power. Some others took that as just trying to control misinformation and fake news. But then in 2023, I believe that was when we had elections, I believe, for the next president. And, political stuff. I hate getting political, but I got to, because that's the root of the problem now. But political stuff, then people were saying, "Oh, it's a fraud, the elections are frauded," and this political figure, Iran Webcam, won because they made him win. It was not fair, blah blah blah. And then there was that thing where the kind of like the White House of Brazil, and I don't remember how the exact word is, but it got raided by a lot of people who were, mostly right-wing supporters, and there was a lot of people on Twitter that were supporting the type of stuff that, that they thought, yes, let's take the country by force because we have the right to blah, 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 and a lot of stuff, fake news about the elections being frauded without having any evidence about it, about, supporting that the country should be, like that the military should, be in charge of the country, to put it lightly, so a lot of stuff was happening, about a lot of people talking about wacky things. And then the STF, mostly because of Alexandre de Moraes, who is like this supreme judge, something like that. I don't know exactly how to translate that, but he's the head of the Supreme Court, basically. He asked X, because at that point it was already X, to ban these accounts that were spreading misinformation and they were supporting that the military should do something because our country is getting communized or whatever. The communists are taking over and all of that stuff. And so the STF was like, ban these accounts if you may. They are spreading fake news, misinformation. They were supporting something bad. And, Elon Musk saw that as, you want to abuse your power. Because he probably, I do think it could have been either like a miscommunication from the STF part, or it could be that Elon Musk or the Twitter X team didn't really care about why the accounts were being banned. I guess Elon Musk just saw like, oh, you want me to ban these accounts? You're abusing your power, Mr. Judge. And, then that's where the problem really started, because Elon Musk started calling Alexandre Moraes like Voldemort and Darth Vader and all these things, was talking that he should be suffer an impeachment or, not be the supreme judge anymore and things like that. And Alexandre Moraes was like, well, fuck you then. And because Elon Musk was like, didn't really like this idea of censoring people who were spreading misinformation, he was like, I'm not gonna abide by the Brazilian rules anymore. The laws don't affect me. And then he started to not pay taxes, I believe, something like that. And then the STF said, if you don't pay your taxes, if you don't do the stuff according to the law properly, we'll have to arrest everyone that represents X in Brazil. And so, with Elon Musk, with all his genius brain, he decided to not have anyone representing X in Brazil. And because of that, the STF was like, if there's no one representing X in Brazil, X cannot exist in Brazil anymore. And so Alexandre de Moraes said, like, you have 24 hours to put someone, representing X in Brazil. And he didn't. And so X is no more. And also something that I completely forgot to talk about. The STF, the most dumb thing possible that they could have done, and they did, they said, if anyone in Brazil uses a VPN to access Twitter, they're going to get a 50K fine, 50K reais, of course, not dollars, fine for that, for trying to use Twitter, which is very stupid, that you get a fine of 50K per day if you try to use a VPN to access Twitter or X, right? But like, Brazil has so many other things that it needs to deal with, so many other problems that it needs to deal with, and many things it needs to find people for, than people who are just trying to use the social media after it's gone, right? So I don't know, it is weird to me that they decided to that. But so, summarizing all of that, because I don't know if I did a good job of explaining it, Alexandre Moraes started asking X or Twitter to ban accounts that were spreading misinformation and things like that, and fake news. Again, this is something I need to clarify. According to many sources I've researched, they all said that the accounts that were being banned were from people who were spreading fake news and misinformation about many political and COVID-19 related things. So this is not like me saying, I'm defending Alexandre de Moraes here or something like that. No, I don't defend any politicians at all. I think they're all bad people, and I want to clarify that because I don't want to sound as if this is my opinion on the matter. This is like the facts according to what I've researched about it, right? And so Alexandre Moraes was asking to X to ban these accounts. Elon Musk saw that as an abuse of power and said, I don't want to abide by Brazilian rules anymore. And because of that, in a really dumb move, he just decided to outsmart the government, even though he was not following the law properly. And, that led to X being skadooshed from Brazil. So we don't have X or Twitter anymore. So, yeah, it's kind of a sad situation. And now I want to rant or yap or talk about my opinions on the matter. I'm not gonna get political here. As I said before, I don't support any type of political figures or idolize anyone, because that's something that a lot of people do these days, is idolizing politicians and these company CEOs or these companies in general, even though they shouldn't be idolized, because Anyway, so I'm not gonna get really political here. If you want to get political, then there's a comment section here, and I please ask you that you only talk about political stuff on my channel in the comment section of this video, because I don't want my channel to be political and things like that. So, my opinions on this matter. I personally think that yes, banning accounts that were, spreading fake news and misinformation is right. Like, there's no way to argue against that. Like, they were spreading misinformation and fake news about serious things, that were taking people's lives, like COVID-19, and also talking about like spreading fake news about political stuff, which is not cool. It's fake news are considered a crime here in Brazil. I don't know the rest of the world, but here it's considered a crime. That's why there were actions being taken against it. So I agree with that. But I personally, I'm not, I think banning accounts that were just like, they didn't spread any fake news or things like that, they were just like supporting that, yeah, we need to raid the White House of Brazil, stuff like that. Like, it doesn't it's not really that big of a deal, like maybe it can be argued that considered like conspiration against the government, so it could be considered a crime. But I don't know, I personally think like people were just supporting this type of stuff, although it was like bad. You shouldn't raid these types of places, right? I don't think banning these accounts was really necessary, unless it is considered like conspiration against the country and it's a crime and all of that. So I partially agree with accounts that were being banned and all of that, but I in my POV, it feels like Elon Musk just saw that he didn't bother to learn what those accounts were saying or what they were supporting, and he just decided to say, oh, that's an abuse of power, you're censoring your political enemies, things like that, when it wasn't really that. So overall, to me, it feels like Elon Musk didn't really bother to understand why they were asking for those accounts to be banned, and he just started going out there and saying, oh, you're abusing your power, Mr. Judge, and all of that, and decided to be smart ass, or he straight up just didn't want to abide by Brazilian rules, and he started talking about this, oh, we need to fight for freedom of speech because this judge is censoring. He decided to do that just so he could like try and find a way to be free from Brazilian laws or something like that. I don't know, but it does feel like Elon Musk just either was really dumb, or he just didn't want to abide by the laws. And also there's that thing where in India, they were also putting some restrictions and demanding some things from X and Elon Musk. And Elon Musk said that even though he doesn't agree, he obeyed. So, why is it different in Brazil? It feels like he's also just straight at disrespecting the country and our laws. And it seems like he's just using this freedom of speech type of stuff to, I don't know, to put people on his side, make people support him, the people who don't know what actually happened, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to make this video, because I want to explain the whole thing, not just, have people going and saying, oh, Elon Musk is a genius, he's trying to free us for the freedom, he's trying to fight for freedom of speech and blah, blah, blah. He's not. Elon Musk does not care about you, he cares about money. Wow, what a surprise. But, it feels like he doesn't really know the full story, or doesn't want to know the full story. He just didn't care about Brazil, it seems like, and that's why he did this whole shish kebab to try to not obey the laws, and it didn't work. So there's no X in Brazil anymore. And I also don't know if Elon Musk is like really into freedom of speech, because even fighting so much for freedom of speech because of people who were spreading misinformation is also weird, right? And it feels, personally, it also feels like he may be a victim of fake news, maybe, because he's talking so surely about the STF making the wrong calls and banning those people and abusing their power, when, like, from various sources I researched, they all said that the accounts that were banned were spreading fake news and supporting acts against our democracy, So it either feels like Elon Musk just didn't want to learn what was happening, or he just received some fake news himself about what was going on, But I guess that's enough of my opinions on the matter. If I have more stuff to say about the political stuff, and again, I want to clarify this real quick for the third time. I don't support or idolize or anything. I don't do that, the type of stuff, for any politicians or anyone. Okay, I just want to, the first part of this video, to talk about what was actually happening, the facts. Now I'm giving my opinion, but I don't want to sound like I'm defending the STF. Oh, Alexandre de Moraes is so cool. No, I don't want to defend anyone. I just want to attack Elon Musk, because it does feel like Elon Musk is at fault here, right? From my analysis of the situation, of course, there are people from inside Brazil even who are also on Musk's side, because they are censoring the right-wing stuff. And yes, most of the accounts that were banned were right-wing politicians and influencers. But then again, according to all the sources, those accounts were spreading misinformation and supporting the raid to the Brazilian White House. Again, I don't know how to properly translate that, sorry. So, I don't want to defend one side or another. I just want to say that Elon Musk seems to be wrong here, basically. Because it was literally just follow the laws, just like he did in India. He followed the laws even though he didn't agree. Like, if it started getting out of hand, like, oh, the STF is banning everyone, even people who are not spreading misinformation or supporting stuff that is goes against the Constitution, then yes, we would have reasons to, I don't know, go Elon Musk, but we don't, basically. So it seems like Elon Musk just made a huge deal out of something that was not that big of a deal. It was just the government trying to control fake news and things like that. But then again, I don't want to defend politicians. I just want to shit on Elon Musk. Yeah. So there's also that thing where the STF blocked, I believe, bank accounts in regarding Starlink, and the the military went ahead and said, "Hey, calm down. We use Starlink, in our operations and things like that." So there's also that, Starlink that didn't have anything to do with X also got fucked in the STF against Elon Musk situation. So yeah, it's kind of goofy, but yeah. So enough about my opinions on this matter. I want to talk about how not having X, or formerly Twitter, in Brazil anymore, how it's gonna affect the country in some ways, because it's not gonna really do that much damage to the government or things like that, obviously, but it is gonna be a pain in the butt for normal people like you and me, probably, because there's a lot of people who use Twitter to work, like artists and people like that, who would accept commissions from Twitter and stuff like that, So many people who use Twitter to work got fucked in this situation, and that's kind of sad, because there were people going like, out of nowhere, I just lost my job, kind of like that. So it is going to affect many people who use Twitter as a workplace, but it also gonna affect it more seriously, not just like people from Brazil, but it's also going to affect Twitter or X itself, because people from Brazil were like a huge chunk of the X users, and not having them there anymore is gonna like just remove a lot of numbers from X, basically, because a huge part of the people who use X, they're just gone, they're not there anymore. So it's also gonna affect X in that, and there are many people who came out to say like, I'm gonna miss my Brazilian followers, like, and things like that, from celebrities to singers, and various accounts came out to talk about it, and it is overall just meh. It's kind of a bummer, because yes, Twitter is a filthy place filled with a lot of stupid stuff, and many bad people use it, but there's also good stuff from it, like the people who use Twitter to work. There's also like the thing that started recently of Brazilian Mico. If you're a Brazilian and you were using X in recent days, the past few, in this week, you probably have heard or saw at least once Brazilian Mico, who is, Brazilian Mico, but from Brazil. And it started to pop off literally everywhere around the world. Brazilian Mico. Even the official Mico came out to talk about it. And she also said that Brazil is being banned, or X is being banned from Brazil, or Brazil and X are not existing anymore because Brazilian Mico was too strong, and so they needed to end it, which is kind of funny. But this Brazilian Mico thing was important because not only kind of, revitalize Brazil in a way, Brazil's image, because there was a lot of people who were saying like, this feels like the redemption arc or the evolution arc for a character before they get killed in an anime, or but it also made other countries and other communities and other people draw Miku in their own nationality, so it was kind of like just a wholesome thing, that many countries were getting together to celebrate Miku. And it all started because of Brazilian Miku, and with Brazilians gone, Brazilian Miku is also gone in a way, which is sad. There's also the fact that many companies use Twitter to put out news or things like that, like, oh, Sony's announcing a new game, and so they put a trailer on Twitter or things like. Yes, usually comes out on YouTube probably and in other news outlets. But you know, Twitter was a place where you could get news from games like Five Nights at Freddy's. It's a franchise where a lot of stuff comes out in Twitter, and now that we don't have Twitter, a lot of people who like wanted to know, keep in touch, and with news in regards to not just video games but various things, they can't anymore because we don't have Twitter. So we need to we depend on these things coming out on YouTube or other social media platforms and things like that, which it's kind of a bummer as well. And also the personally, this is gonna be a personal thing more than the other stuff, but this is a personal part of the video, even more personal than my opinions on the topic that I said before. But like me, I'm someone who does not use social media to argue with others and talk about politics and cancel people and things like that. I use social media, mostly X and Reddit, for two main reasons: because of VTubers and because of fan art. I only started using X because of not only my channel, obviously, but also because that's where a lot of people posted fan art of VTubers. A lot of VTubers, they said, "Oh, here's my stream schedule. Here's a stream. Wow, fan art. Wow, 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 wow." And now there's no more VTubers, unless they post stuff in their community tab as well. So that's kind of a bummer because there's a lot of them who don't. Because Twitter, that's the thing. Twitter is just more versatile. Just go there. Boom. Here's stuff. I repost this. I post this. Blah blah blah. You can't really do that on the community tab on YouTube. So yeah. Overall, this is the biggest punch in the nuts for me. The fact that I won't be able to, keep in touch with what is happening in the VTubers space and in the meme space as well, because right when one of the funniest things I've seen in history, which was the Flames of Disaster, came to be, Brazil banned Twitter. Funniest shit in the last 3 months, and at least I got to see it, obviously, but it was sad, so sad. There's a lot of I use Twitter as well to overload myself with memes and things like that as well. So now I will only be able to look at fan art and see memes and stuff like that by using Reddit, which is Reddit. I don't need to explain anymore. So yeah, overall, it's quite the loss because Twitter was just, it was established, or X was just established social media platform that now we can't use it anymore, right? So in a way, it kind of feels like Brazil got separated from the world a bit, because Twitter was just one of the most important, not important, but one of the main ways people from Brazil interacted with people from outside of Brazil, right? So with that gone, all of it is just gone. There's no more Brazil. If I open X or x.com, twitter.com, it doesn't load anymore, right? On my phone or Chrome and all of that, it does not load. So it's quite sad. And I know that there are other countries out there who don't have access to any other social media. But this is the first time something like this has happened to Brazil, as far as I remember, that a big social media like that just disappeared or got banned from our country. But I do understand why, and I agree that if Elon Musk is not going to obey the laws of Brazil, he should be kicked out of here, right? So I do agree with that. Maybe not the Starlink part, because I don't know about that. It seemed like it was out of nowhere, just because we're banning X, so let's ban Starlink as well. But I do agree that if he wasn't obeying the laws in regards to X, then X can't be in Brazil, right? But it is sad because we lost more than we won. I personally, I feel like that when it comes to Twitter. But in the grand scheme of things, yes, it is way better that Twitter is gone, because a lot of shit stuff just doesn't exist anymore, at least in Brazil. But also a lot of good stuff is lost, maybe forever, because maybe X will always be in the hands of Elon Musk, and apparently he does not have any intention of coming back to Brazil, or obeying the fucking laws. So yeah, overall, it's just a really, really sad situation personally, because I liked using Twitter. You know, it was just because I use it only for fun, just to see fan art, just to see memes, see VTubers. So it was just a pleasant place for me, but it wasn't like that for everyone. But it is sad personally that there's no more Twitter. But then again, guess it happens. So now we just gotta continue living and adapting, because humans do that. I hope someday X comes back. Maybe not at the hands of Elon Musk, or maybe Elon Musk says, okay, Brazil, I'm gonna obey the fucking law, and I'm gonna obey the law, because, obey the fucking law. And maybe I sure hope X comes back someday, but yeah, if he doesn't, then, well, I guess it was a good run, right? And yeah, that's about it. Goodbye.